The other day we went on 10 freaking foot out there with Geo, north swell, east wind or southeast, the worst conditions ever. I made it, no problem, dude, with the fucking foil drive. I was just laughing about it, going to these fucking monsters with the foil drive.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the X-Foils. This is episode, we don't know. I've got Randy Campos here.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean,
Randy
you've got a long name. I remember I was talking to your son, and he was like, Randy.
It's like, it's Rafael Armando Campos Aguilar. He says it like that.
That's hilarious.
He learned it.
Thanks for joining me, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. This is cool.
It's a cool setup because I was just saying before that, you know, we hang out and we all foil together all the time, but then we really don't know much about each other.
Pretty much. We just know about our shitty foiling. That's pretty much it.
We talk, you're like, hey, move your foot forward. Hey, move your foot back. Hey, your mass is too far forward. Hey, you suck.
Dylan is doing it wrong. He needs to move that mass forward. That's what we talk about. Yeah. It's all good.
So we'll get into your company, which is Derty Boards, right? You're the shaper and construction.
It works. Yeah, it's a multi
side-by-side thing. Yeah. So you went to school, and what did you study that got you into construction?
I'm actually an engineer. My dad was an engineer from ever since, and I've been working in construction since all my life, pretty much, with him. Study engineering and working construction with one of the biggest contractors here for more than 20 years. Buildings, houses, complex, everything. Decided to go to like more of a skate park and start designing and building skate park. There was like a need for it.
Yeah.
So I started to get on that and deviated from main construction into what I really love and passionate about, the alternative sports, skateboarding, motocross, dirt bikes, everything, bicycles. And from there, I got a few opportunities in life. That's why I could stray away from my profession as an engineer. Yeah. And here we are, foiling. So it was like a sharp turn into alternative sports and another line of work.
So did you I know that because now you're designing skate parks, right? So I've seen you've built a couple. You're building one right now.
I'm not building it, sadly. I never get the contract. I've been trying for so long. So I just,
So you're subcontracting it pretty much?
Pretty much. I come in as a consultant and, consulting for the contractors that don't know how to do the job, but they do get the contract from the government. And I go in as a specialist, try to help them so that they do a good job on it. Yeah. So that's what I'm at right now. I'm trying to help all these contractors and municipalities to get these skate parks and promote the new sports for not basketball, not baseball, alternative sports for other kids. Yeah. And of course the need for skateboarding here in the island, it's massive, and the following, and just trying to make it right, trying to make these contractors and the municipalities do a good job, because they've been doing a little bit of a poor job on it. Yeah. And I just want to get in on it. I didn't have this in the 80s when we grew up in the 90s skateboarding. We didn't have anything here. And now we're getting, this boom of concrete and skate parks and facilities. It's an Olympic sport now. Yeah. So it has a lot of pull. So I'm trying to get into that to help guide the course of action with the alternative sports and the construction of these facilities.
That's cool. I literally 2 days ago watched the Bones Brigade.
With Stacey Peralta.
I just watched that.
Really
good. The documentary. I've seen the movie Dogtown, but this is completely different.
This is straight up like real.
And I've never been in the skate culture. I used to skateboard a little bit. Horrible at it. Just horrible. I had some friends that were really good at it.
That's my main background. I grew up skateboarding and ever since the 80s, and I've been on and off on it since the 80s because of injuries or whatever, but that's always been my main thing.
Did you design, because you also did motocross or ATV?
Motocross, freestyle motocross. I started to get into that here. No one used to do freestyle motocross here in the island, and we just figured out how to make a ramp. We figured out the logistics of it. We started going at it. We got hurt doing it. But we got into it, and then I started doing the events. I do events in the Choliseo, freestyle motocross events. I do them here in Costa Rica, Panama, Dominican Republic, and I started traveling with these freestyle motocross shows all over.
And did you race before that, or
I used to race
just straight up freestyle?
I used to go to the races, and the problem is that I would find the biggest jump on the freaking on the freaking track and just start airing and doing tricks because I wasn't too good at racing. Yeah. I was really bad, actually. I would just be like second to last every time. But it was fun, and we just start tricking out on every single jump, and everybody like got on it. And
I was the opposite. I was good at racing motocross. I was not good at jumping.
Oh, wow, that's interesting.
Like I took a few jumps and I could get my rhythm, but it kind of spooked me a little bit. And I've been riding bikes since I was, 4 or 5 years old. We had these little pit bikes. We'd drive around
those are fun.
the campsite. And my dad grew up riding motocross, and we'd go trail riding. And we were very fortunate that we always had bikes. Like growing up, I had like the 60, then I had an 80, then I had a 125, and that's when I stopped.
I didn't have that. I just went to a 250cc straight up. Boom. This is what you need to be riding. This is what they jump. This is what they use. Learn to ride it.
And when did you learn how to ride?
At 25 years old.
Damn.
I've never touched a motorcycle before that, so it was like a hard learning curve. I didn't even know how to use the clutch. What is this? You know?
Yeah.
So, but figured it out and started doing freestyle and got into that freestyle scene and whatever. Started doing the shows and just went with it, and then incorporated the skateboarding, the BMXers, and started doing alternative sports events. The Cultura sobre Ruedas in Panama, Sneaker Urbania here in Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica. Went all over the place, assembling these events all over Latin America.
That's cool. Did you design any of the racetracks or just the jumps?
Yeah. And actually here in Puerto Rico, I helped design and build a couple of racetracks and maintain them at some point. But yeah, my main thing was doing like the big jumps, like the logistics of it.
Because Danny, he works at Goodwinds. He races, right?
He's still on it. That's really funny because I met Danny way back when he was just like a little grom on the dirt bike.
Yeah.
His dad would bring him to the track, and he would sit alongside us, and we would like coach him and everything. And then, I don't know, 15 years later, I look, you're foiling? Oh, it's like, oh, let's go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And now he's skydiving.
He skydived the other day. Yeah, I'm going to learn skydiving. I'm like, okay. And 2 days later, he's posting videos of jumping, whatever. I'm like,
that's quite an addiction.
Oh, it is.
Have you done it?
Oh, yeah.
How many jumps do you have?
Like 4 jumps, and I have like maybe like 5 hours on the wind tunnel and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's super fun.
I did like 200 something jumps.
What?
Yeah.
No, I said to my wife pretty much, hey, I'm going to buy a parachute. Yep, that was the end of that conversation. The end of that conversation.
Yeah.
Stopped right there.
Dude, I was super lucky to get into skydiving because where I was working in Playa del Carmen, where we had our beach, all of a sudden this skydive outfit moved to Playa del Carmen, and they set up and they started landing on our kite beach.
Oh, that's badass. That's badass. So of course you gotta get on it.
It wasn't badass from the beginning. When they first arrived, I was like, whoa.
Boy, imagine kites and shit.
Yeah.
And this guy coming down, and you got kites up and down.
It did not mix.
Yep.
So we had to figure out, like, between me and them, I was more worried about it because
for sure.
they were too, right? But I was on the beach all the time, so we figured out a flag logistic. And I had like 6 instructors. So we'd put up a flag, and it would mean like 5 minutes that they've jumped out of the plane.
So nobody puts a kite
A red
up?
flag was like their parachutes are deployed, and they've got like 5 minutes to come down and land, and all of our instructors had to land. Like, you can't even have a kite set up on its side because they come into the lines. They're coming down the beach.
Wow,
it was crazy, and I had to like coordinate that with all the kiters on the beach. Like, hey, just so you know, look at the beach. If you see that flag, stay in the water. Don't come on the beach. And could you imagine?
Yeah, that's kind of hard.
We never once had a skydiver run into a kiter.
Wow.
Never.
Interesting.
We came close because they had a big plane when they first arrived, and they had these guys swooping in, like these crazy guys, and they'd come over the water like this.
Yeah. Scheming
I'm
over
like,
the water.
hey, how am I supposed to prepare for that?
No
right?
flag for that one.
Yeah. So that was super cool, and the manager became one of my best friends, and there's a whole story.
skydiving.
There's a whole story behind that with the skydiving that I really enjoyed.
I love it. That's a badass thrill. Nobody can say it different.
Yeah. And when I moved here, I had all my gear and everything. I used to do the outside videos, tandem videos in Mexico.
Yeah.
When I moved here, we were so busy with Numero Uno and the kite school and everything. A month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months went by, 4, 6 months, and then I had to repack my chute. So I sent it to get repacked here, and I'm like, I'm gonna jump. Never went. Another 6 months passed by, and Shadi's like, my wife's like, you gotta let it go. And I'm like, by then I couldn't jump that thing. It was too small.
Okay.
There's no way.
Yeah.
I would have had to rent anyway. And actually, the more you do it, the safer it is.
Of course, like
You
foiling.
you get into this rhythm and you start to, it becomes safer. But if you do it once a month, it's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
For sure, you gotta be on it like every other day. For sure.
So all of those extreme sports, which is why you're probably all messed up. You know?
Pretty much. That's why my foiling sucks. That's why I suck at foiling. Dude, everything hurts. Everything hurts. My back leg doesn't pump. My shoulder doesn't paddle.
So why don't you go on your other stance?
Well,
Have you ever tried?
I could ride switch, but
Oh my God.
but I don't because I used to skate and whatever. So
Yeah.
and then with the wing and the whatever little kiting I did, I could like switch, but
Oh man, the amount of training it would take to like synchronize that.
I can actually pump switch.
Ren learned,
oh my
right?
God, Ren! I saw her at Hood River.
Yeah.
I'm like, did she just switch feet and now she's popping up the like
Yeah.
switch stance?
Yeah.
What the hell? That was impressive.
Yeah. So
That's
she said
impressive.
that she's pretty equal on both sides. One is a little bit better than the other, but she's not sure which side she is, which makes more sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when we were there, we're like, she's learning on her switch side because of a bad ankle. We're like, what?
And she was going.
What?
She made it down the freaking thing like
I
nothing.
know.
It was
It's
impressive.
crazy.
Yeah.
So I assume that your first sport was probably bodyboarding or surfing.
No, I went straight into surfing. I maybe had a bodyboard like every other kid
Yeah.
in the island, but I used to be on the surfing magazines back in the day, go to the supermarket, get it. I was stoked on surfing. Never surfed pretty much. My parents weren't like surfing parents or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So borrowed a board at some point when I was 14 or something. Went at it when I got my first car, 16, working for delivering pizzas and stuff. Got my first car, straight go learn how to surf.
Yeah.
And I did that on my own, learned how to surf, started surfing, became a lifestyle, surfing and skateboarding.
Was there a spot specifically that you were learning at,
my
or you were
God.
all over the place?
Well, of course, you live in San Juan and you have to go to La Ocho.
Yeah. That's where you learned?
No. No, actually, I went there and I couldn't handle I just don't like the vibe.
Yeah.
I'll be honest about it. If I don't feel comfortable, well, it's
Yeah.
not a good place for me. So I started going to Los Tubos, actually. And there was like a crew of old guys over there. Really like cool old guys. They've been there like their whole lives. They just lived there on the beach pretty much. And I started going to that beach. The wave is really good over there. Started making my way into the crowd, to the point a little bit, would sit outside. And little by little, I started like gaining their confidence and got in with them and had like a local spot that I could go and be okay
Yeah.
with it and go practice. So Los Tubos became my surf spot and Inches on the south side of the island. Sometimes people don't go there.
I've never been.
Dude, that gets so good, and sometimes there's no one out there. You got the whole place for yourselves, like a wave pool.
That's
you know?
cool.
So it's a small waves also
Yeah.
too. So it was perfect for learning.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I learned how to surf.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the only reason I never like learned how to surf, was I didn't like putting myself in that situation.
Yeah,
where
like you
I
go
don't
by a
like-
board, go to Aviones, and you go see that scene. It's
Yeah.
like
I don't like
yeah.
I don't like conflict in
Exactly,
general. I like
exactly, me
to
neither.
like squash it and
Yeah.
but yeah, learning how to foil surf was totally different, you know, which we'll talk about because I was learning in the spot that you guys were
Yeah,
going
yeah,
every day,
yeah,
and you
yeah.
were part of that early crew, and
Yeah.
it was also inviting. So I totally skipped this whole whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. Which actually I was talking about it the other day with somebody because, you know, there's this, you know, foilers in the lineup and surfers, and there's a little bit of this conflict
yeah,
of
what's gonna be?
surfers don't understand it and it's dangerous, and then the most people have this argument that people that are on a foil usually have, if they're able to foil, they have more control,
Oh yeah.
right? But there are people that are learning how to foil. Sure, let's say they're good on a foil, they have more control than a guy that's trying to get up on a longboard
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
never seen water in his life. But also, those foilers like me, we don't have a surf etiquette, you know, because we didn't have to go through it.
That's true.
And I
That's
never
true.
had to go through it, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go to a surf spot and I very much separate myself. If I go to La Ocho, I know where I want to stand.
Yeah, yeah.
I know where I want to pop up. I can gauge moods, and people are actually, I've never had any problems,
That's good.
which is nice. But I never put myself close enough to want to feel that. But I know I can see other people pushing the limits a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like getting too close and too comfortable, and I can see why they'd be bothered by it for sure.
They're bothered. It's like they see you catching more waves, going further, going faster, going everything.
The only
you
time
know?
I've ever felt anything is when I'm actually standing on the beach, like walking with my foil. They're like,
Yeah, where's
God
this guy
damn.
going? Yeah.
and that's when I see some eyes. But Yeah, surfing, I guess, did you have a favorite spot that you'd always go to, or that was inches? That was
Los tubos and inches, that was like my learning spot, and La Pared in Luquillo.
Yeah.
That beach break is just right there. I used to work in Fajardo Construction, and I had La Pared right there. That's how I met all the Luquillo crew over there. We'll get into that. That's how I got into foiling with the Luquillo crew, actually.
Oh,
with,
really?
with Victor, with Viti over there. We'll go to La Pared. The beach break there is like so accessible, and you will learn how to, pop up and do your thing and get into the waves. I close up pretty much all the time, but
do you kite?
I actually kite. That's how I got into wind sports, pretty much.
Yeah.
I would go surfing, but I would work in construction. So construction starts at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So you ain't going surfing at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It gets windy here at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So at 9 a.m. or 4 p.m. you want to go surf. At 4 p.m. with 20 knots,
Yeah,
it's
no.
messed up. So what
Yeah.
do? Ben Wilson, BWS Kites.
Yeah.
I saw that video, dude. Ian Aldridge, Ben Wilson, Patrick Repstock back in the day.
Yeah.
And I seen this guy just say, surf all morning, get barrel, and the afternoon when the wind picks up, I'll kite the shit out of it. I'm like, oh, he's surfing in the kite in the afternoon? Oh, that's good, wait. So I started seeing on a surfboard, which I hadn't seen it yet. I only seen it on twin tips and maybe like a racing foil or kite, whatever
Yeah.
rig. But this guy were ripping on it, was surfing. son.
What year was that?
That would probably be, I'm really bad with dates, but I'm gonna say like, I don't know, like 2010.
Okay.
2010, I picked up a kite. I think I went to St. Croix on a vacation, whatever, on a little weekend trip, and this guy, Bill Kraft, Bill?
Yeah,
Bill, the
yeah,
St.
I know
Croix guy?
Bill, yeah.
He had a kite school over there. I'm just there. I'm like, you know what? I'm here. Let me call this guy up, see what's up. I'm in
Did
St.
you
Croix.
know Bill before?
No,
or you met
nothing.
him?
I met him
you
over there at
him
St. Croix.
Oh, okay.
And the wind was shit. He pulled out like a 30-meter kite, never kited before, and he puts me on a 30-meter kite because there's no fucking wind. So he's trying to make the best out of it, and I'm trying to just see this thing. I'm like, oh, I had some wakeboarding, behind a boat, whatever, simple.
Yeah.
So I just
Any sailing background?
no sailing, no
wind.
wind, no nothing. I couldn't even fly a trainer kite. So I went on this 13 thing. And he immediately, he goes through all the steps, he gives me all the class in the beach or whatever. We go in the water. And I just launched that thing, I just like send it, got my first 10 feet of ride, and I was stoked immediately. Then I did it again and I launched like 50 feet in the air and just ate shit. I'm like, oh, this is good. So that was my first introduction into kiting. Then I got back here and it was this guy, Marcos Perez, friend of a girlfriend of mine, her brother actually. And he was kiting. And he pretty much told me, hey, this is what you do. You send it, you stand here, you point it that way, then you point it back here to the beach. Worst case scenario, just hang on it, point it here, and drag your ass over here. I'm like, okay, I've seen this on YouTube. Maybe I can make it work. So I learned how to kiteboard on a surfboard strapless.
I mean,
I can ride a twin tip. I can't ride a twin tip.
people have done it.
I knew a surfboard. I could understand a surfboard.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I've seen we've had people that learn on a surfboard. I mean, strapless is really hard because it's hard to
get on it. Yeah.
Because you gotta put your heels on it. You need enough power to sink the rails to stand on it. But then once you're standing on it,
it's way better.
You've got those three.
The
fins.
volume, the flotation, everything. It's way better.
It's different, right?
So I learned strapless and pretty much then I went to Goodwin's.
Yeah.
That was the only school I knew. Mm-hmm. They told me about a school over here. You weren't here, I think, yet.
No.
And so I said, I'm going to go to Dorado. This guy, I paid like $300, I don't know, for a class. And Phil gave me the class, actually. He was starting over there. Pretty much he said, hey, you're like good to go. You need to just practice this, practice that. I'm like, okay. So I started going to Dorado and doing the walk of shame back and forth for 3 or 4 months. Got good enough to go into the waves, started like doing what I set out to do. Started kite surfing pretty much. Fell in love with that until I landed on my fucking lines. And that just like, this landed on the lines, got tossed, mangled on the outside.
No
by
way.
a couple of sets. It was bad.
Kite mare.
A kite mare, yeah, pretty much. So I actually threw the kite out. I let go of the kite, let it go, and I just started paddling like a mile into shore. So that was pretty much the end of it, because foiling was coming around.
So you started kiting before you learned how to foil.
Yeah,
Even surfing, foil surfing.
Yeah. I started with kite surfing. And then I started to see in the foil. I'm like, oh, this is interesting, but I don't think it'll catch up.
You started to see it with a kite, or you saw people
I saw
surfing
it first with a kite, and then I seen a video of when Lyft was coming out with their first 200s and the whatever, the
Those
first
classics,
time.
yeah.
Somebody showed me a video, a guy on a small board, surfing.
Yeah.
Going up, paddling, and I'm like, what? That looks good. I'm like, oh, but that won't take off. You're gonna hit the reef. That's gonna be a shit. that don't work. Like, what are you gonna? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Then I see Kyle Lenny and whatever. Start seeing more videos. Laird Hamilton, of course, doing his thing with big waves. And I'm like, this shit is the future, man. This thing is good. Got my hands on one with Phil. Phil had just gotten like a Delta wing or some shit, some brand like that.
Yeah.
Weird ass Delta.
Yeah.
Was like a really weird ass foil. He said, I got this thing. Let's go try it. I'm like, I'm down. I can drive a ski. Let's go. I'll tow you. So we figured it out. We started like towing behind the ski with the thing, and then maybe letting go and trying to like not pump or anything, just trying to like make it go. And I fell in love with it. Just that when I felt that foil lift me, and I'm like, no resistance, no nothing. The movement on it, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
There's something here. There's something here. So I started looking for gear immediately. No gear in the island. No nothing, maybe one or two foils, whatever. But then I go to Fajardo, to some random, I'm having lunch in Fajardo in Las Croabas. I used to work over there, and I was having lunch, and I see Victor from Luquillo, Viti, Captain Pelicano, and Juan from Board Riders. And I see these two guys parking there at 7 Seas, and I'm like, what the fuck are these guys doing?
At 7 Seas?
7 Seas in Fajardo, listen to this. And Viti pulls out like a big-ass fucking windsurf wing, and I'm like, wow, and then I see the foil on the back of the fucking thing on their car.
Oh.
And I'm like, wow, no way. So I go over there, yo, Vidi, what's up? New Vidi from mountain biking back in the day, and Juan from La Pared, from surfing over there. And what are you doing? I'm like, and he's like, I just bought this thing. I seen it. I just bought it. I'm going to fucking try it.
So he was windsurf foiling.
Windsurf foiling, no clue, no nothing. He just bought a gear. He just bought a used gear, and he said, I don't know how to do it. I'm going to try it. Dude, I stayed with them for an hour on the beach. Vidi went at it, and when he just lifted that thing, I'm like, a local is doing it.
Yeah.
And he just went for it, and he ate shit. He got mangled with that thing. He went so high, the mass was, anyways. I realized Juango was there, but he wasn't, he was just helping him.
Windsurf.
No, he was just helping him out, and that was my first taste of seeing a local going at it, like Viti from Luquillo. And then they say, oh, we need to go surf this thing. They're surfing them. We need to do this and that. And I go in internet, of course, and I find this shit. Foil mount.
Yeah.
The stick-on foil mount. I'm like, oh, that's good.
I have some. I've used them in the past.
They freaking work.
It's crazy.
I'll be honest.
I can't believe
they work. So I'm like, I don't have a board. I'm looking at what they're using. I start going online, reading this and that, finding some information. And I read, you need to paddle. You need to be able to paddle it up and this and that. Yeah. So I go, well, I paddle a surfboard, so maybe that'll work. I had like a 5'10", little round nose shortboard that I had. It was a flat rocker enough. So I pretty much stuck the plate. I actually like did some research. I knew the foil couldn't be like at an angle.
Yeah.
I figured that much out. So I tried to put it like almost to the middle of the board. It looked really weird.
Wow.
Really weird. So I stick that plate on the flat
no
part of the...
No wonder you keep on telling me to put my foil forward.
There you go. There you go. Yes. So I stick that thing on, dude. I bought a Lift 200 used, all mangled from Nick or from somebody that sold it to somebody, and I got it. And I went, the first day I went with Viti, with Victor, I think we went to La Pared or something, which is not that good for foiling, but it's a sandbar, it's a beach break, you know, you're not gonna get too mangled. And we couldn't pop up. We couldn't even stand on the board. We couldn't even do a single pop up. We couldn't even paddle enough to like get on the wave. Long story short, went 2 inches one of those days. Super shallow over there. Worst play, I hit the foil like 10 times.
Given the name, inches.
Exactly.
But
it's safe, it's close to the shore.
It's sand bottom.
No, inches is full of, it's pure reef.
What?
It's a pure slab, dude. It
really?
goes from inches of water to like 3 feet, 4 feet.
Oh,
so you gotta catch it like on the shoulder.
Inches was sand.
No. It's straight up reef, dude. It's like, you're gonna hate. It's flat though.
The Selva, when I went there, that was sandy. They
La
put like
Selva-
sand bars. I guess it changes, right?
It changes. That's the beauty about La Selva. The sandbars move around and the peaks like move around. And
Yeah.
they will start breaking from way out the back or way in
It
front.
was hectic trying to catch a wave there on the sandbar.
It gets kind of weird. There's like a backwards there sometime or whatever. But at Inches, it's like a clean reef break. So it just dives into like a channel.
But because you still foil there, right?
Yeah. I still go there. Like every once in a while, my foil is always on the car. I'm like, if it's good, I'm down.
And you don't mess up your foil? I guess
No,
you
I
know
got it
it
down.
well enough.
I got it down.
It's kinda dialed.
I see like on a spot, like I pretty much like, kunk, oh, here I'm on the spot. So I pretty much take off from there.
Yeah.
I just take off, then pump out all the way out. And once you're up and riding the wave, you can ride it. If you don't put your foil down,
Yeah.
you're good. So it's a really good place to pump and practice. So I would just go in the shoulder,
Yeah.
paddle, and just like try to pop up and eat shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned, dude. I went at it straight for like 2 months. 2 months straight, every single day, 1 hour at least, of trying to catch a wave and pop up. And I did. And once I popped up, once I got a video of it, actually at La Ocho, my first pop-up was at La Ocho with this 510 surfboard with the stick
Sticky
on
mount.
plate with a 200 lift on the bottom, which that thing was wild. And I popped up, dude. I stood up. The wave was just like perfect. It caught me. And I just stayed still like that, and the thing just flew. And I just rode like, I don't know, 100 yards maybe, which was like amazing at that point. And I was just completely hooked. And after that, off to the races, get new foils, started looking for new stuff. Got into Axis.
Yeah.
With Phil over there.
Where's Rafki at this point?
Rafki at this point is surfing and doing his thing. He was kiting. He was starting to kite. I think I actually sold him one of my kites. When I started foiling, he was still kiting. And I'm like, dude, I don't even want to kite anymore. Here's my North Neo, whatever, or whatever, was it or whatever.
Yeah.
Here, I sold it to him. I'm going to go foiling. I sold pretty much everything. I just stay with one kite just to keep it, the BWS one. Still have it, though.
Yeah.
And I just
Because Gio said that he borrowed, when he first tried a foil, he borrowed a Lift 200 from Rafki.
There you go.
It might have been the same one.
Probably.
Or what?
We've been passing it around, and the one Arlan talks about, the Axis, that was my Axis. That was the first 1,000 Axis
you
on the
passed that
island.
around.
Dude, I've sold that thing like 6 times already. And it comes back to me somehow. I don't know. I sold it like 6 times.
So where did you get your Axis stuff? Was Phil a dealer by then? Or
I don't know if it was a dealer or not, but he knew the guy.
Yeah.
And he got some, hey, we're putting this out. This is our new thing, the 900 and the 1,000. That was thick-ass freaking front wings. And we were riding the Delta thing and the Lift 200, which we couldn't pump it. We couldn't understand it. It would surf. It would, like, carve pretty good, but that's not what we weren't at that level yet.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pump. I seen the videos of a guy going and Kyle Lenny making it go. I'm like, shit, I want to do that. We got into the Axis 1000.
Did you know that? I think that video of Kai Lenny pumping for like 11 minutes was on an Armstrong foil,
There you go.
a 1600.
No way,
foil?
really?
Yes.
Interesting. Did not know that fact.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Well, he's Kyle Lenny, though.
I
Shit.
mean, that's true.
Yeah.
I guess, you know,
Yeah.
if it was funny because did you hear what Roy said this morning? He's like, you know what we learned today, boys? Specs don't matter. You either got the sauce or you don't got the sauce.
You got the sauce or you got the sauce. There you go. He learned that with my 6'5". We'll talk about that later. Anyway. Yeah, so I got into the foiling and started going to Goyu, to Dorado. The thing came around, you know, the COVID shit, whatever. And I was already pumping with the Axis. I could pump out. I could already pump back out and catch 1 or 2 waves. I was connecting waves. Nobody was doing that at my place. Then Andy started to show up. Sean started to show up. All you guys started to show up. And I'm like, oh, this is good.
I wasn't too far behind.
No. We were like right there. And pretty much I started to look for the need for boards. We couldn't get any boards, and there was just a few companies making boards, and they were like $2,000, $1,500 just to surf it. I'm like, no way, dude. There has to be an easier way of doing this. I was already like shaping my own surfboards just for the thrill of it.
Yeah.
Was selling maybe 1 or 2 here and there. People asking me for, you know, beginner boards, whatever. And then I just said, you know what? I'm gonna shape my own foldboard. How hard could this be? It's just there's no too much on it, you know.
Yeah.
So I started figuring out the tracks and this and that. I got a hold of some tracks. I bought the single fin tracks for a longboard. Figured it out, routed it out, did a mess on my first board. got it to the water. It worked. It just felt a little bit long, so I started, we don't need to be that long. We could go shorter. So I shaped my first board was a 4.7 actually, still going around, and Rafki ended up learning how to foil with it. By the way, that was
really?
That was. I used to make all these boards and then just pass them down so people could learn.
Yeah.
Arlan was on one of my boards.
Yeah.
A lot of people were Rafki, Viti, all those guys, Juango. So I just started shaping boards and trying to figure it out, making the best board available so I could paddle into these waves and start pumping.
So were you riding your boards before you got the Axis foils, or that came?
By the Axis foil, I already had my first board.
Okay.
I already had my first board. I was riding my boards and progressing with them.
And how many boards had you shaped, like surfboards, up until that point? Like a lot?
Surfboards, maybe, I'm going to say like maybe 20 or 30 surfboards.
Okay.
Which is not bad,
Yeah,
you know.
that's quite a bit.
From those 20, 30 surfboards, maybe 10 didn't work for shit.
Yeah.
But it's part of the, the learning process, whatever.
And why'd you get into making your own surfboards?
I just hated going to a store and paying $900 for a piece of shit board that was going to break because it's glassed by a Korean in Hawaii, in Japan or something, in China.
Yeah.
The glassing, everything, and at the end of the day, well, I'm an engineer in construction. I come from the construction background. I like building shit.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the main thing. But I just didn't like paying $900 for a surfboard, dude. It was just too much, and I
So instead spend $2,000 to make your own.
Probably, because those first 10 boards were shit for sure. But it was also therapy, man. I would get into that shaping room and pretty much stay in there all night long. I would shape. It was in my house. I didn't have a shop. So it was just one of my rooms in my house. I pretty much plastic the whole thing. And anyways, it was a mess. And I would glass boards during the night so the smell wouldn't bother the neighbors and all that shit, because I didn't have the proper ventilation, all that stuff. So I would shape the boards during the day or whatever, go to bed and wake up at 2 a.m. and glass the boards at 2 a.m. so the neighbors wouldn't be mad from the smell or whatever. And that's how I got into it, and just for the fun of it, actually, just for producing something and using it yourself. The gratification on it is just amazing. Even to this day, I shaped that board yesterday, got it in the water yesterday, got it in the water today. It works. It just feels so fucking good to be able to make your own stuff and write it and put your ideas into reality.
Yeah.
And, see how they work and how they translate into the actual sport. So
I don't know what you think, but I've not shaped any boards.
You fixed a lot of things.
I fixed a lot of things. I have shaped one, but it wasn't, come on. I'm shaving the side down. I don't know what I'm doing, but, and it worked, which is super cool.
Exactly, and that's
And then I shaped another one, and it worked.
There you go. And you start refining it.
I shaped one for the school, and it worked.
There you go.
And Walt has a lot more, he's a lot more creative in that sense, so he wants to do,
he's precise. He's
he's measuring. I don't know how to measure,
That's a good point.
The math and stuff you do, and I was looking at it. I'm like, how do I measure and add? I'm like, I don't know. No way.
Yeah, I went about
it. It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard and it kind of can get too much. But with the shaping, if you have the correct lighting on your setup, I use the shadows, dude. I don't use the numbers. I start with an idea.
And
I want a 6.5 by 20.
Yeah.
But I just start looking at the shadows. If I fuck up this a little bit, I'll fix it up over here.
Yeah.
The shadows match up.
Yeah.
And
that was what I did, because I would measure it and this and that, and I'm like,
it's too much.
You can never
You gotta use the shadow. The shadow is the only thing that don't lie.
I was just looking at it and feeling it. I didn't have shadows.
Even just measuring it. If you measure this distance 10 times, and probably 9 times you're gonna get a different measurement by a thing, So
so it didn't make any sense. And so what I was going with that is that, shaping a wingboard, for sure it makes a difference, but you've got so much power under you. You can
get away with everything.
You can make it work.
Yeah.
And then transitioning into trying to shape downwind boards that are
that's a different monster right there.
They're so specific nuances.
Yeah, from the rocker, from the volume distribution, from the angle on the rail, from the everything.
Tail release, front release, volume, thickness, rails, all of it. And I think it's really cool that, because we went out the other day and I've been testing, I tested from the beginning the north downwind board, right?
Yeah,
and I'm trying to put into words and feelings why I feel that it's slow or where the drag is coming in. It's not easy. You got to try a lot of boards, El Perro is perfect for that.
Perro is the best find ever to do that.
And then, you know, having you guys around and having Mickey as a resource is really cool.
Oh, dude, legit
because
resource. He's putting the time more than us on that
He can really
thing.
articulate and tell you like specifically what's going on.
Yeah.
And make a lot of sense. Sometimes he talks a lot of shit. And
We all do. It's part of it. It's foiling. It's what we do.
no, it's funny. But yeah, finding those like, and for you, then you can go in and we talk about this. You're like, oh, watch how the tail releases. Watch how much suction there is. Watch how much speed you get. And it's all these different things. And then you can go into your lab.
Exactly.
You know, and be like, chop, chop, chop. And I don't know how many downwind boards you've made already. I don't know where they're going, but you've got like, what, 15?
No,
how many?
No, I've done like 10 downwind boards.
That's wild.
All of them have pretty much worked in their own way.
Yeah.
But these last few ones, they're money, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say have it down because you're always like improving, of course.
Yeah.
But for my riding ability right now and my, cook ass paddling skills and whatever, I've been able to refine a board that suits an intermediate guy, a guy with injuries, a guy that doesn't have the physical condition of a top athlete, because downwind is no joke.
Yeah.
So I started like refining it and finding that, that balance between the volume, the rocker. So I needed to paddle straight because I can't paddle for shit.
Yeah.
So I want a board that paddles straight. I want a board that releases because I like pumping. I want a board that cars because I like to surf.
Yeah.
So a lot of things go into it. And you try to, you try this, you try an angle, you try a round nose, you try a flat bottom. And I've tested your board. I tested all the KTs. I tested all the Kalamas, the Axis. I test everything. I try to ride as much. Well, Roy gives me shit because I ride a different board every day and a different foil. But it's like surfing. You ride a fish today, you ride a shortboard the other day. So I like riding and testing out to know about that, actually, to know what everything feels. I like to find new things. And riding different boards with you guys and testing all the gear with you guys and you providing us a lot of gear to test and ride out. It's progressing the shaping of my boards and the technology or whatever, the tech specs on it. And I got it down to like an average joke and I can pop up a freaking downwind board now because I dialed in the design. Ask Roy. He's riding my board right now.
Yeah, he loves it.
He loves it. Volume distribution, dude. It's all about, what works. And some people can ride pretty much anything, like we've all seen. But at the end of the day, all those little concepts, the little bevel here, the little volume on the nose, the little this, all those things like matter to the rider and make a difference at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I was talking about it before. I don't know with who, probably with Walt. That, man, it's so hard because, like all this foiling stuff, it's gone so fast and developed so quickly.
It's still going.
And then the downwinding thing, how it's changed everything, how it's changed the way we look at what we want out of a board and what we want out of a wingboard, out of a foil. Everything.
Yeah.
And the production of like these companies, North and KT and Armstrong and all, it's really hard to keep up.
Oh, dude, it's
right?
really hard. They put out new shit every single week, every single month, and new things coming out.
Foils, yes, but their boards, it's really hard to get those into production, get them out. And
it's a mess. Yes, a lot. Yeah, for sure.
So then KT has to think about what their next line is going to be for the next 2 years. Can you imagine?
Yeah, and the new designs or new concept, putting out new shit out or whatever.
Like 4 months later, it might completely change. So it's
literally
that's what it's really cool about being able to go into the shaping bay and being like, oh, you know what? This is what's really going to make a difference. And then do that and then test it. And I think that's really special because because everything's changing now and we're like, wow, we want longer, we want narrower, we want, we want tails to sink. We don't want them to sink. We want more volume in the nose. We don't want, like, all these things all of a sudden change and you're paddling around. You're like, damn, what am I going to do? Like, these people, these normal foilers have to wait years before they can get what they feel like is the next progression because of production.
Yeah.
Right? So if not, you can go to your local shaper and you can probably get what's going to be coming out in the future.
Pretty much. I got that 6.5 today. And Armstrong just put out today the mid-lengths and whatever. I'm just on it already.
Yeah.
I have a board out there that pretty much it's what's coming out new. Yeah. I'm already testing my design, and we just proved it today that it works perfectly. Now we're going to see what they're going to come out with and start. The next one will be a tweak of the new things that they're putting out every single day.
why Derty?
Derty comes from, I used to be in downhill mountain bike riding and motocross and whatever. We were at this place in Aybonito with some of the downhill crew here back in the day, like, I don't know, 98, 99. There was like this hill gap that we were doing, like a jump, and I jumped it and landed, and there was like a mud puddle, whatever you want to call it, and just landed on it, dude, straight into it, swam into the freaking mud, whatever. Everybody was muddy. We go to this beer, whatever bar at the end of the run right there, and we're all muddy like this, and this old lady comes up to us. Oh, you guys look so dirty. Like, what's up with this? I'm like, and it just stuck. You guys look so dirty. I'm like, dirty. So I just stuck with it, and that was the name for my pretty much construction company or whatever, you know. Started like, doing my thing. And actually, I'm registered as a concrete contractor.
Yeah.
Derty is registered as a concrete contractor company. Then I, of course, used the name of the company for my alternative sports events that I was telling you about, traveling. So Derty will design the ramp, design the event, event planning, event designing, alternative sports, all that stuff. Then pretty much just I had already registered the name Derty, so might as well just go with it.
So you stuck with the name Derty.
Derty 787. I use 787 foilboards. Just random.
Yeah, 787.
It just stuck. Somebody go, just call Derty. I'm like, what? And somebody come, hi, are you Derty? I'm like, oh, I'm Randy, but yeah, I'm Derty. It's okay. So it just stuck.
You're in my phone. Like, let me actually find it. You texted me. Your name's Randy Boardmaker.
Randy Boardmaker. There you go. That works. That works. There you go.
Because I found you on Instagram when I first was here, and I bugged you a bunch of times for a board and pricing, and
probably
I never got one from you.
No,
I never did. But I was just so busy, and I've got to stick with all my production stuff.
Of course,
it goes like this. But now with this downwinding, it makes a lot more sense to be on the up and up, right? And kind of be on the edge of where the designs are going, and that's super cool that you can do that. And I mean, Walt is frothing to get the shop set up.
I'm dying for him to get that shop. I'll be there shaping with him and helping him.
Have you seen where his shop is going to be?
No, but he described it, dude. I'm like, what? You got this? And I'm like, that sounds good, dude. Let me know. I'm down.
It's epic.
I'm down.
I don't know if it's further than where you are, because another thing that's wild is that you drive to Isabella, like
2 hours every morning. I leave my house 3 or 4 a.m. pretty much. And get there at 5.
That way you don't get any of the stoplights.
Oh, no, dude. I go like...
That's the best.
I go like straight up, no traffic, no nothing. Yeah. Get there around 5:30.
So it's not that hot. Does that shop get hot? Or?
Well, at midday, yeah. So I try to glass like early in the mornings. Yeah. So the temperature inside the shop is not that bad, because at midday, you're mixing the resins and the stuff, the humidity and all that stuff changes the drying times and all that stuff. So I try to go really early and shape. Or if I'm glassing another board, I'll try to glass it and shape a board. And around 8 a.m. or 9, I'll leave and to my other job, either the construction job back here in San Juan.
Yeah.
So I'll drive 2 hours for maybe work 1 hour or 2 hours over there. Drive 2 more hours over here to do my other work. And then by that time I was teaching also, kiting, winging and foiling at other spot. And so, I start my day pretty early. And I drive over there. It's too hard in San Juan here to get a shop with all the legalities and the EPA stuff and the fumes.
What did Niels do? Did you ever talk to him?
No, I actually didn't talk too much to Niels. I know of him and I know what he does, and it's amazing. But he had like a little shop, like a little room.
I think he sold it.
Yeah, he's like out of it or something.
He's leaving the island.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't know what he did with it. But when he's like, oh, I'm leaving, I was like, damn. I'm like, do you need somebody to take care of your shop?
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, hey, come meet me. I'm like, cool. And then I went in there and he's like, showed me, this is how you turn on the air conditioner, this is that. And he showed me the room, this is how you turn on the vacuums. And
he has that. He has a full setup.
Big vacuum system and everything. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's small, right? Small room, one room.
Yeah, you don't need much.
Just to do one board at a time or whatever. Yeah. And then he was going to rent it to me by the month. And I was like, man, I've got...
Yeah, too much shit.
I mean,
too much shit going on.
I'm way too busy.
I don't know how
I'm
you
not
deal
going to do any of that stuff. So, and then Walt is not in San Juan anymore.
Yeah.
Walt was the one. He's like, hey, why don't we get that? I'm like, bro, for what? Like, you come here and then you like leave the next second.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, I'm gonna stay until tomorrow. And then he called. I'm like, bro, where are you? He's like, I'm driving home. I'm going west, baby. I don't want to stay in this city.
Yeah.
So it goes like that. And what was your gear progression like? Because you switched to that Axis stuff.
Got pumping with the Axis immediately, and immediately felt that when I took it to the wave, this shit don't serve.
Yeah.
This shit don't serve. It's too bad. I can't even turn it.
Do you remember the specs of it at all? Or
It's a 1,000 square centimeters, and it was like 39 inches. It was like a big wing and thick.
Because someone called me today, they were asking about Code foils, and they have Axis, and they're switching. And he's asking me, like, hey, what about this to this? And we're trying to reference. And I look at Axis, and they measure all their stuff in span.
In the span. They have
millimeters, which is wild.
You go to their wing, and they have like 100 numbers on the freaking thing, like centimeters, square feet, whatever. I'm like, shit.
I think they're the only ones that measure in span.
They have too much wings out there, but it's good. They can cater to everyone.
I'm riding it was like a 1051. I'm like, oh, well, or 1151. I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. And I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's a 1,700 square inch.
Exactly.
Square centimeter foil.
Yeah,
I'm like, that is huge.
Yep.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so Axis foils were good. They got me pumping.
Yeah.
They got me pumping real good, actually. So when I took into the surf, they would suck. And we would take them towing. You would just get launched.
Blown up.
Yeah. So Armstrong came around. Mm-hmm. That's when Goodwin started bringing Armstrong. And we got on that train with the 2400 Armstrong. You remember that bad boy? So I was getting into winging by then. Winging was coming around. So I got that 2400 to learn how to wing and learn how to foil. Then we got into the 1250 Armstrong, and that was a game changer.
Yeah.
We could pump it.
The HS.
Yeah. We could carve it. It was surfy, responsive, and that's where the foiling like really took off. So now we're surfing, we're doing our thing. We're not just going straight and pumping. So that opened up the Armstrong lineup. Opened up like the whole surfing part of it.
Yeah. I was on that Armstrong train also. At that same time, I became a dealer for Armstrong.
It's good stuff.
We ordered a bunch of stuff.
They work. They were really good.
I bought all your stuff.
Pretty much, exactly. I ended up selling everything to you.
Yeah. I bought all of it.
And what did I switch to after that? I sold all my Armstrong shit and went to F1.
F1.
I really like F1.
Yeah.
F1 had a good lineup. They look modern. They look fast. They look way different than what I was riding.
Yeah.
Got on the Eagle stuff when they came out. Took them to Peru. Learned how to ride. It was freaking amazing. Those Eagles going faster carving. And then just progression hit.
Yeah.
All the brands started putting out surf foils and this and that by then.
So you're kind of like, because the last couple of years you've been limboing in like F1 stuff. You've been on some lift stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And then you were
introduced to Code in Hood River.
Yeah, but there was another brand in there, no, that you were riding, or no? It's just,
no.
I guess it was just Code then that came in after Hood River.
Yeah, pretty much. When I saw those Code foils in Hood River with you guys, I was like, oh, I like this shit. It looks good. The aesthetics of it, the orange, the shape of the wing. You know, sometimes it's just about how it looks. Yeah. It gives you that feeling, oh, that ride's good.
The finish is really
Everything's badass. So I got on him and immediately, shit, this stuff is good. I was comparing it to Lift, which I was riding the 150 Lift. Yeah. I was riding the 1090 Eagle, which are pretty close to around there. But then I got on your 980 and on that 1130 on Code. So that thing glides, it turns. I'm getting old. I can't pump for shit anymore. Yeah. Pretty much. This thing is making me pump again. Yeah. So I'm like sold.
Yeah, and I'm on it. And it was right at that time that, because that 150X is extremely popular.
Still good to this day. It works.
It's
amazing.
Still good. I mean, their 120 is still good. Right?
I never liked the 120. That thing will jack you up. It was fast. It was this and that. It was the first wing.
That is
wing that I surfed, but it would jack you up so bad.
I used to wing it a lot. We used to tow it a couple times when the waves were smaller.
Smaller waves.
And then, what else was I riding? I rode a lot of foils. I wasn't proning the 120 because I was scared of it.
I never proned the 120. Didn't like the feel. I was proning the 1090 Eagle, and that was just money. Yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, I was proning MFC was one of the first things.
Oh, you got to ride that one?
Yeah, MFC. They were not bad.
There were a couple of foils there here in the island. I remember seeing them around, and somebody had them, but never rode them actually.
I bought them off the island, shipped them in used. I got a good deal on it. Snapped the mast.
I heard about this.
And then I bought bought another mast, and I sold the whole kit. I think I shipped it off the island.
Yeah.
And then I went, and when I was surfing Armstrong proning, I was on the 1125 high aspect.
Oh, I got on. What was the one?
That was their first high aspect.
I got on that.
Yeah.
I got on that train, dude, on the Armstrong when they came out with the high aspect.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this shit? I need to try it. Dude, got on it, hated it. Fucking low end sucks.
Yeah.
The low end on it, you will go like, "Whoop." So it was just a different takeoff, different everything.
Yeah.
You have to like project a little bit more. You cannot lift. Anyways, you know about it.
Yeah.
So, but then once you got up, different thing. It's not a surf wind. This is a high aspect thing. This thing's freaking
Fast.
going.
Yeah.
And like, there's something here. Started jumping it. I started doing freestyle winging with it. It had so much pop, incredibly.
Yeah, because you can go fast.
It would just like, and you
Yeah.
would just pop and go 10, 15 feet in the air with the wing. And I'm like, oh, this is the shit. I learned my
Did you-
first 360 with that thing.
Did you break any of them?
I broke one.
Oh, really?
I broke one. But jumping awkwardly,
Yeah.
of course. Any foil would have broke the way I landed, you know? But they were good. They held their own, even with that high aspect. I thought I was going to, for sure, like, snap it. But it held its own, and it gave me that freestyle whatever sense. Start jumping real good, doing a little bit of 360 tricks there and here and there. But then immediately took it to the waves, and I'm like, no. It was just too much of a wingspan, you know, too much of a, for my style of riding and my lazy ass of turning or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So did not like it and immediately strayed away from the high aspects a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
So went back to the F1, which they are high aspect, but not as high as that one.
Yeah.
Went back to F1, then Lift came around with the 150. Roy got on that thing. I tried it, we towed it. I'm like, what is this thing? Wow, that was the only wing I like from Lift. Sorry. It's really good. That's the only wing I like from you guys.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really good. It works. It's fast. It serves. It glides. It pumps. But it's twitchy. It's kind of moody. You know, it's kind of moody. So,
Yeah, I think you have to adapt to its level.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
That foil has a certain level
For
of like
sure.
expertise that you need.
For sure.
It doesn't like to be messed around. You've
yeah.
got to tune it.
It's like a
tone
race
it.
car. You gotta get in high gear.
Yeah.
You gotta get over there.
So I was also I was downwinding. I tried to downwind the 150 a couple times.
I did. I started with it too. I was like going on because Roy was going at it, and this.
Yeah, he was raving about it, and I tried it one day,
exactly.
and I was like, it's good. It's fast.
Yeah.
It carves. It was really nice, but I didn't like how honed in I had to feel to it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know how he had it set up. Roy's a different animal, right?
Yeah,
so everyone sets up their stuff.
We had that shit dialed in with the KD mount with tails and the shims. We started going down that rabbit hole with the shims and trimming it, and we got it good. We started trimming those foils, and we got a lot out of them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's right. Like, we could customize it to our riding style and what we were doing. So it was pretty good, just experimenting with all the tails, the fuses, fuse lengths. So we wrote that thing. We've written pretty much every foil you could find, even your code foils, short fuse, medium fuse, large fuse, KD tails, put the chims on that thing, chim it, not chim it. So I usually get a foil and just test it all out, do everything to it, try to fine tune it and find how I can make that foil suit my style.
Yeah.
And if I can tune it to my rhythm and my flow, sold, you know? So, and Code does that. Code is really friendly. You can really manage it. It's like high performance as much as you want it.
Burly.
But it allows you, it gives you that, okay, I can take a breather on this thing. I don't have to be on it, like, stressing about it like every single second, like with those high aspects. I rode Roy's Armstrong today, the 755 on the downwind board on SUP Surf.
Yeah.
Got it up, and dude, that thing was squirrely as shit. But Roy rides it like that, and I can understand it. His riding style is way different than you and me. He rides front foot heavy, whatever. Felt the twitchiness on it, way different than my code. I'm like, dude, my setup is right. So once you are able to, like you said, like understand what's happening and express it and decide what works for you, you can really dial in your foiling, and that just takes you to the next level for sure.
Yeah.
Having a bad setup, it's the worst, and we all know about this. The wrong board, the wrong foil, the wrong equipment, you ain't going nowhere. It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, for downwinding, it's super specific. The foil, the board.
The paddle, everything.
Everything. Winging,
Nah.
Kiting, like I can wing and kite anything.
Anything, me
you know,
too. Yeah.
Anything,
Yeah.
and make it work.
A piece of 2x4, you put a
Yeah.
foil and you can wing it, you know,
Yeah.
for sure. You got that power of the kite on the wing, and it's just, but when you're powered on your own,
Yeah.
and you gotta, make your own power and get your own speed, and all the board comes into play, the foil comes into play, your equipment really comes into play, so that you can, with your abilities, make the best of it, I guess.
How'd you end up teaching with Goodwin's? Just because you
winging,
guys...
winging came around. Nobody was winging pretty much in the island. Maybe one or two guys were doing it, maybe. We got pretty good at it pretty fast, just doing the walk of shame for 2 months straight.
Yeah.
Phil asked me, hey, can we start teaching this? Let's develop a teaching method of this, like we have with kiting already, with the step by step how you teach kiting.
Yeah.
So we started developing a little step by step.
Did you ever teach kiting?
Actually, I still do. I still
really?
manage every once in a while. I might get I don't like it, but I can teach people how to kite and do tricks and twin tips and everything. But I guess I like teaching. I can express to the people and see what they're doing and give it to them in a language that they can understand. And you're doing this one, whatever.
Yeah.
So when we're winging, some people over there by Dorado wanted to wing. Did a couple of experiments, pretty much free classes to the locals or whatever. And it just picked up. And we got to start getting booking class. And I'm like, Randy, we got class. I'm like, well, I'm down. We're doing this and that. We take him on the jet ski. We do this, we do this.
Yeah.
Got a lot of people winging over there.
Yeah.
A lot of people got into it, even girls, small kids. We got a youth camp now that we teach little kids how to do it. And it just picked up. And you know about it here in San Juan, here in Ocean Park, you got this down. And everybody's doing it now. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants a class. So I just got into it pretty much just because I was doing it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to progress, be more on the water, more time in the water, more time testing gear. I would just have one wing, but teaching over there, I would try the 4, the 5, the 6, every single the gear. So that made it even better for my winging, I guess.
Do you still wing often, or?
I use the wing for testing my boards.
I mean, this year's been horrible.
Bad.
Horrible.
Really, really bad.
So sad.
Either freaking seaweed
As you look
or
outside,
freaking wind.
as it's raining again,
Yeah.
I'm like, man,
So
can't get a break.
So there you go. So I started winging, and then you wouldn't be able to wing. Oh, the wind's bad, this and that. The waves are not good. So what's next? Downwind foiling.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you could surf that. You could SUP surf it. I'm like, you could wing it too, maybe. Low wind days, big board, big foil. You could go on it. I'm gonna see what's up with this. So pretty much just looking for a thing to do. If it's raining, we don't skate. If it's, we don't ride dirt bike, or we go, So looking for that alternative things to do when the weather is not cooperating, whatever.
Yeah.
Just got me to switching and doing new sports and new stuff with the wind stuff, for sure.
Yeah, I mean every condition has its sport.
But I'm not winging too much now. If it's really good, if it's 18, 20 knots, 5 feet, 14-second period, good stuff out there, I'll wing the shit out of anything and go winging. And I'll even manage some freestyle in there, not beat up myself too much. But usually I just wing nowadays to test boards, actually, and foils, actually. You give me a new foil, I go test it with the wing. Power it up. I don't need a wave. I don't need anything. Just power it up. See the top speed. See how it turns. I just kind of get a sense of it. Get a sense out of it. So I'm using the wing pretty much to test even my downwind boards and all that stuff. That's pretty much, I got a wing on the back of the truck and just for, it's
just
there.
in case.
It's there.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah, because testing a foil in the surf, it's a lot. It takes a lot more time, but it's way more fruitful because you really get a sense of what the foil can do.
But you go into a session, you paddle out 15 minutes to the point, you get there, you paddle for your first wave, and the foil is way back. And you left your little key on the truck. So what now? Your session is done, pretty much. So.
I have your key in my truck, by the way.
By the way, there you go. So I would just rather get it out, find where it needs to be, what it's doing. Oh, this foil likes to be reading back foot over here, front foot over here. Yeah. And then I would take it to the prone board or the whatever and go surf it. Yeah. But I would have already a little bit of how it worked. Yeah. So it wouldn't be that bad going at it for the first time. But I love trying new gear and just feeling that new gear feeling. Oh, what's this? Yeah. Magic. Yeah. So I just like testing everything. I'll see a new foil and I'll probably buy it and test it.
the scene at Go U is just it's changed, huh?
It's changed a lot.
It's so funny that because I thought I arrived a lot later than when you
lot.
guys were like.
But it wasn't
Not-
that lot. I was maybe going first than most of the guys over there, pretty
Yeah.
much alone sometimes.
Yeah.
But when the COVID hit, like that just opened the gates
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, floodgates. Here we
Yeah,
come.
exactly.
Because the guys that were there in the beginning are not really there anymore.
No.
And now nobody's proning anymore. Everybody's on their sup foil boards. It's
Subfoil or-
hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when
Everybody.
you go out there for a day,
Yeah, it's messed up.
it's so funny. Like how this downwinding thing with these boards changed everything. Now everyone's out there with these clunky boards. You would have been you would have laughed your ass off if
Straight
somebody
up.
came out there.
I would have been the one. What the fuck are you doing with this here, this and that? For
Yeah.
sure, I would have been the first one. Like, but dude, it's the reality of it. It's legit, dude. It's good.
Yeah, I
It's
mean-
amazing. What you can do with it, it's amazing.
Yeah.
There's no limit to it.
I love going out there and proning still because I never grew up surfing, so I get a lot of thrill out of like paddling
Yeah,
and being on
and
that
that's-
small board and popping up.
I
and
really like
still
the
learning a lot.
the surfing aspect of it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I just don't want to spend the little amount of time I have for a session maybe
of
now
course,
going
yeah.
proning. I just go with the soup and get like 40 waves instead of getting 20.
Yeah.
You know, paddling back with the prone board or whatever.
Yeah.
So I like the drop aspect of it and the pop up of it and
Yeah.
the legitness of it, but I just get more weight with the SUP. I'm already standing up. I'm getting old. I'm 45.
Yeah.
Everything hurts. I got a lot of broken bones. So,
Foil magic. Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, you know it. And
That was the wrong button.
the wrong button. That's the shit right there. You know it. I'm at the forefront of the fold drive here in Puerto Rico with Jose.
Yeah.
I seen that thing and like I had it
Can
for
I-
like 3 years.
Can I blow up the photo that I edited of you carrying the flag?
Please do it. It's all good. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm a full driver at some point of
No,
the
I
week.
know. I think it's funny how the scene has changed, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then how the scene has changed.
And it'll keep
how,
changing.
How, I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, that's so silly. Like, why would you do that? And then
Yeah.
I can't think about going to Go U proning without wanting to put on my foil drive,
Exactly.
And I've only done it 3 times with
Yeah.
the foil drive, but I'm like, damn, I was out there the other day and I didn't have it. And I was like,
And you feel it.
oh,
Yeah.
man, I could have caught 20, 30
I
more
went today
waves.
and the waves were breaking out the back, and I'm like, if I had my full drive, I would be catching the thing from way out there.
Way in the back.
So full drive opens up a new range of foiling, like legit. For me, it's gonna be putting myself into big waves.
Yeah.
I already done it. I've been doing it with the Generation 1.
Yeah.
I had a full drive for like 2 years or 3 years, I don't know, before
Yeah.
everybody got on it. And I actually caught like really decent, I'm not gonna talk shit, like at least 10-foot waves. Perfect 10-foot wave with a channel on the
Yeah.
side, just on the shoulder,
Yeah.
whatever. But being able to just go from the beach, bzzz, stand on that lineup with no one out because
Yeah.
no one serves that spot that I'm talking about, and then just pretty much bust yourself into a 10-foot wave without breaking and just riding it for a mile is just amazing, the possibilities and what it opens.
Yeah.
And of course, for my injuries, I skate a lot still. I love skating pools. I eat shit a lot. The
Yeah.
concrete hurts. So I might go skating today and tomorrow I'll be all banged up. Full drive tomorrow. Because it's not that I'm going to go foiling in the water. I'm
Yeah.
going to fucking go even if I'm hurt.
Yeah.
But the foil drive just opens up. You don't have to paddle, you don't have to do this, and you can catch and have fun and just do your thing and get that feeling that you want.
Yeah.
Quickly, efficient, and it's amazing. I think that's gonna be the future. They call it free foiling,
Yeah.
the free foiling stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm down. It works, and it even for downwinding.
Yeah.
I'm not that good at downwinding, as you know. My condition is not that good. I can pop up, I can ride, but I cannot go fucking 15 miles like you guys. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with it. I can ride, I can foil, I can do this and that, but I'll be honest, that's just too much for me. For now, I'm training for it. But the foil drive allows me to go. The other day we went on 10 freaking foot out there with Geo, north swell,
Yeah.
east wind or southeast,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
worst conditions ever. I made it, no problem, dude, with the fucking foil drive. I was
Yeah.
just laughing about it, going to these fucking monsters
Yeah.
with the foil drive. No worries in my mind, no stress, no nothing. I'm going to make it to point A to point B, worst case scenario. I'll make it because I got my foil drive, whatever. But it just opens up for me for training. it's like running with weights,
Yeah.
as I call it, as I see it. You're training with the fold drive. You try to pump a board with a fold drive. You know how
Yeah.
different it is.
Yeah.
Then get on a 75 mast and a light board and go pump it. You're just
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
go. So I see
fly
it as
away.
as a training tool also, and a way of being in the water more time.
Yeah.
Even when it's flat, no wind, no nothing, you got the fold drive. You could catch anything with that thing.
Yeah.
And have fun with it. So I'm
Yeah.
really down with the fold drive, honestly.
I've talked about it a couple times that, like, because you've done it without the foil drive,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
learn how to downwind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've done
No,
those
no,
runs.
no, I
You've
learned the
done it.
hard
You've
way. I
done
learned
it.
the
You've
hard
done
way,
it.
the hard way, yeah.
And we've gone to Hood River and we've
Oh, yeah.
done it and we've gone through runs and then so you're kind of like intermittently
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah,
right?
to progress actually.
You know?
So yeah.
And I think it's if somebody really wants to learn how to downwind and they know that they're never going to downwind if it's not with a foil drive, I think it's totally fine.
It's totally fine.
There's no issue with it. I think what it comes to that's really difficult for me to understand or to know how it's going to be is that if you learn with a foil drive, why would you go back? It's got to be so difficult. It's got to be stressful.
For sure.
It's
For
not.
sure.
So if you go out there and you're doing these runs with the foil drive,
No, you're not
would
down.
you ever go back to not use a foil drive?
Probably not. It's
Right.
So that's why I went about it the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna put in the time. We've all put in the time.
Yeah.
And I had the fold drive before, and now I'm using it for this discipline of downwinding.
Yeah.
And it's just a tool.
Yeah.
Or for those days that you don't want to, it just makes you feel safer out there. For some runs, longer runs that I might go with you guys.
Yeah.
That West Side run, I don't think I can make it. It's kind of long, for me maybe, if not the right conditions.
It was a wild run.
So I'll go with the fold drive.
Yeah.
The other day, didn't the fold drive help someone out? I had
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fold drive 30 minutes back
To drag him back.
to drag this guy into the beach, and help him out because he got dizzy. The conditions went out, and he paddled himself out.
Yeah, it
like
was hot.
Like it could happen to any one of us.
Yeah, yeah.
So the fold drive came into play, and it became like a safety thing,
Yeah.
with the group. So
Yeah.
it makes you feel safe, and if it's gonna get you out there in the water and happy, and it'll put a smile on you, I don't give a shit. Go fold drive.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but it'll for sure take a lot from learning. If you want to learn the sport, go the hard way,
Yeah.
do it the right way, and then incorporate the fold drive
Yeah.
to make yourself
You
better.
gotta know-
But you need to
You gotta
learn the
know the
basics.
difference
Yeah,
because it's tough.
yeah.
It's tough to
hard.
go back.
It's really hard.
Once you-
Even
once-
just today, I had
Once
a
you get that juice, baby.
dude, I had a session the other day with the fold drive. I go, 25, 30 waves.
Yes.
Dry hair, dude. Dry hair. Dry hair the whole fucking thing.
On the sup, right?
On the sup.
Yeah.
And just freaking going at it, wave after a wave. 20-minute session, 40 waves. What? So, and then the next day I go paddling this 6.5. I'm missing my thing. Where's my trigger thing? God damn it.
Yeah.
But since you know how to do it, and the true essence of it is paddling and doing it the hard way.
That's why I think I ruined my prone foiling.
Oh.
Because then I did it a couple times, and then a couple times I didn't.
Yeah.
And I paddled, right? It's a long paddle out.
It is.
Right? And I'm on a 30-liter board. It's like I'm just dragging ass.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
And paddling out, which I never minded too much. I'm like, I know this is what it takes. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, I know that I could get out there in like...
Exactly. It
in
took
like-
you
in
20 minutes to get out there.
2 minutes.
And it took me 20 minutes to catch 20 waves. So pretty much, you want to put on a balance the amount of fun or foiling time that you're going to have up
Yeah.
on foil,
Yeah.
which is ultimately what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to learn up on foil.
Yeah.
So it gives you that push to learn or hone in your skills. If you want to use it like for just you're pretty much a full driver, then
Yeah.
it's good. It's okay, but you don't have the basics of it and
Yeah,
the
you're not going to
true-
learn certain things for
no,
sure.
for sure. But you'll be out there having fun and doing your thing on the water, which is ultimately at the end of the day what we all want.
Yeah.
Our own
I mean,
thrills, whatever.
I think if you are going to always be on a foil drive, you got to do it without once and like cry because
Yeah.
what if your battery dies?
You gotta
It
know
would
how to
be
do it.
horrific if you've never felt the sensation of having to paddle 4 miles on your own will,
Oh, yeah.
not getting up on foil.
I know about that. I know about
We all
drunk.
do,
I think
yeah.
I got the. Dude, there was this one time with Gio, and I think you guys went on that run. You guys went all the way to Dorado, I stayed back. I was gonna end up in Salinas.
Yeah.
Started trying to pop up, destroy myself the first 10 minutes. I couldn't even breathe anymore. First 10 minutes, the wind dies. The wind just died that day. The conditions were shit. And I swear to you, there was a freaking current against me. I just started flat paddling
Yeah.
for 30 minutes. And I look back and I'm still at I'm still at Isla Cabras. I'm like close to Isla Cabras still. I'm like 30 minutes into it. I'm like, dude, I might have to turn back. So being out there, it took me 2 hours, 45 minutes. You know this story?
No.
2 hours, 45 minutes to paddle 3 miles.
Damn.
Flat water paddling. That was bad.
Crazy.
Against the current, the wind just shift like southeast
Yeah.
or something.
That's bad.
It was bad. But yeah, you got to go through it. And if you want to be out there downwinding, your mindset has to be, you have to be on it. You have to go, you have to know what to do. Emergencies, when your battery dies or your paddle breaks like Gio's the other day.
Yeah, that's wild.
There's a lot of stuff that could go wrong out there. Big animals out there. Big animals.
Yeah.
So, you know about that. You had a
yeah.
visit from a little Sharky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've had a lot of different conditions. I've seen that day I didn't only see a shark, but it was also like nasty, horrible conditions, like wish wash, big swells from two directions.
yeah,
it
they're
was
like just colliding.
just nasty,
Yeah, yeah.
super nasty. And on top of that, it didn't feel good. But I've been out, in other days where you just can't get up, or you're exhausted, or I don't know, you had too much to drink the day before,
You're just
or you
not on
didn't
it.
drink
You're just
enough
not on it,
water,
dude.
or
Exactly.
you're not feeling it, and
It's bad.
It's bad. It feels really bad. Getting your wife to come pick you up is the worst.
That's even better. That's
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah.
That's even better.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
I don't. It sucks in the moment, and then there's always like, oh, why couldn't I, or could I, or should I go back out and try, and should I suffer even more? Or
and then you start questioning yourself: do I have the right board? Do I have the right fold? Did I do the right choice? Did that,
Yeah,
this or
yeah.
that? Is it this? Is it this?
it's
is
always
it that?
there's a combination of a bunch of things,
Oh,
right? It's
lot of
always the
things.
wrong board. It's
Yeah.
always the wrong
you gotta
foil.
you gotta blame some seaweed, dude. That's Roy. He blames everything on the seaweed. It was the seaweed, dude. It's all about seaweed.
Yeah,
So,
that's
yeah.
wild. Do you have any commissioned boards you're working out right now? Because you do some sup boards also.
Yeah, I do some. Yeah, some guys, because they see me like paddling the downwind SUP, so
Yeah.
they immediately saw, oh, so you shape SUPs too? I'm like, dude, I shape anything, whatever you want. You know, it's pretty much the same, just bigger.
Yeah.
So I just started
spec it
learning
out.
about. I obviously don't have an SUP surf background.
Yeah.
So I got one and pretty much learned the basics of it because I want to know how it feels, the thick rails, this and that. So I went at it, and I've shaped already like 5 SUP surfboards, and they're all over the island. They're being used. Even on Goyu, I got like 3 guys there that go with my
Yeah.
boards every other time.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
And they pretty much work. I like doing the SUPs, and I actually don't like shaping surfboards anymore. I like shaping the SUPs and the fold boards. Surfboards is just, nowadays they're shaping machines. Well, the fold boards too. Everybody
Yeah,
just
I mean,
point and click, and you get a board
I mean, it's all
printed.
CNC. It's
That's where it's going, sadly. But some people might say hand shaping, but hand shaping a board, to me, I could do it maybe, I'm gonna say 4 hours at that Win SUP, which is pretty fast for the amount of foam you're mowing and
Yeah.
taking off from the blocks of foam I buy, versus just going to your computer with a beer in hand at your house during the night, and then the next day taking the USB to the computer, hitting
Yeah.
print, and that thing comes out in 20 minutes.
yeah,
Shit.
Yeah.
Ready for glassing pretty much. All you gotta do is like rough sand it and put the tracks in and go.
yeah.
So
But there's still a science to both, right?
for sure.
Would
for
you
sure.
wouldn't you want to try to do a CNC like do something on CAD, or I don't know what the programming is, but
Like for example, the last board I did, like the one Roy is using,
yeah,
that board is perfect. That board is really good. Like I had that board like scan
yeah,
and get that model because that fucking board works.
Yeah.
It's just that's the evolution of the boards I've been making, and I got it to that point. I think I can make it a little bit better, a little bit on the tail.
Mm-hmm.
So my next board that I'm shaping is just the same board with a different tail, a little bit rounded out more like Mickey's board, like the one he brought.
yeah.
I tested it and I liked it a lot. That was
It's-
like the best tail
it's
ever.
really good.
It's really good. So I'm incorporating that concept into the concept I have. So having that on a USB and having that like as a base model, I might do that. There's a guy here now, renowned shaper. He's back on it again.
Oh, really?
Che Morales, Che Surfboards. He's been on it like, he's shaped with Ross on. He's been around the world shaping. He has
And
really good.
And he's back in Puerto Rico?
He's back in Puerto Rico, and he's around here. I don't know where, but he has this warehouse with the new CNC machine, 100 freaking blanks. He's setting his shop now.
Oh, wow.
And
Wild.
we're gonna have a CNC, like a legit CNC machine, with a legit guy doing it, of course.
And you know him personally?
I know him personally really good, and I already talked to him about it, and he's like, let me know, let's start working on it. So I'm gonna start working on a computer design,
Yeah.
and when he has his stuff together, I'm gonna just go and print them out. Like for example, this 6.5 that I shaped the other day, instead of spending 9 hours shaping it and whatever, I could just design it on the computer, get a sense of it, or what I want, and really see it. This looks good, and then print it. And once you print it, you can then fine tune it. Oh, I didn't like how this came out, and this, and you can fine tune
Yeah.
on this. It takes away from how I do it. I pretty much start with like basic dimensions and end up with whatever this is how it needs. The shadows, I just keep putting shadows. After I put my first measurements, I don't check the measurements again. I just go like this, check it, the shadows, rail, same as the other one. And as you're shaping it, this shit, I don't like this angle. I don't like it, doesn't look good. So you start like reshaping that angle. Oh, now I fucked this up. Now I gotta change the rail over here because it doesn't match up. And that's how you end up with
then
like
you're like, fuck it. That's how you end up with a surfboard.
pretty much, or with a prone,
Yeah.
foil board.
You're like,
So yeah,
sup board ended up to be like
this
a
is a
prone.
good story. I actually never wasted a foam on all the years I've been shaping.
Really?
I've never ever wasted a foam. I've always reshaped and repurposed them. And the people that buy boards from me know this, that if you buy a board from me and you like outgrow it, I'll take it in, I'll take it back and probably deglass it and reshape it and repurpose it for something else.
Oh my God, deglass it.
Dude,
How do you do that?
it's so badass.
Oh, you blow it with an air
You
compressor?
do like a little hole, you put the hose to it, and it just pops up. Sometimes it pops up really easy, and you can just unglass it and reshape it.
Wow.
And because the foam is so expensive to get here.
Yeah.
Like a block of foam 9 feet for this SUP that I'm doing now. Roy wants a 9.4. Shit, now I gotta shape
9.4?
9.4. He's talking about 9.4, 16 inches. I'm like, shit, that's gonna be. You're gonna call UPS? Yeah, UPS. I want to ship a 9-foot block of foam. It's gonna cost. So those blanks, the shipping is like $400. So
Wow.
that's like half the price of the freaking foam just for the chipping on it here. So it's really good repurposing boards.
Yeah.
Using the foam like
You
converting.
gotta find somebody with an AA cargo shipment. It's cheaper.
Actually,
way cheaper.
I'm working with Warner Vega, with one of the old school shapers here in the island. He opened his door for me, and that's where I shape at.
Yeah.
At Hobos, Warner Vega's hang loose surf shop over there. And he actually gets me my custom blanks because I ordered them custom. I ordered the specific weight on it, the density, 1.5
From
BPS.
USA blanks.
US
or-
blanks or
okay.
whoever it's out, and I ordered them custom. I got my own rocker. I already got my own profile on the computer with the flat rocker all the way, and then just the little rocker on the top and the block cut. But to get a blank here and buy it would cost like $700 just for the blank, just for the foam. Then you have to add the
Youch.
shaping time, the glassing, the tracks, and when you put it, your cost is like $1,200 just to shape and have a board, which is still good because you're competing against $2,000, $2,500 brand boards.
Yeah.
But since you're not a brand, I'm
Yeah.
not KT, I'm not whatever,
Yeah.
people are still resistant to buy it, even though I demonstrate my shit works.
Yeah.
I'm out there every day putting in the hours on it. So it's still, you could get a profit out of it, but, it just kills it.
Yeah.
Well, you know about shipping and getting
Oh,
your
yeah,
cost
I
and
mean,
your profit killed.
Shipping stuff here and then shipping stuff back and shipping it out.
It's ridiculous.
It eats up
orders from
everything.
Florida. I've gotten orders from Florida, and I shipped this guy a school over there. What was it, Next Level Water Sports or some stuff
Yeah.
over there. When I started shaping foldboards, nobody was shaping foldboard in the East Coast of Florida. Nobody was on it. And this guy saw me through the Instagram, and he ordered 3 boards. I pretty much gave them to him for free. The shipping was $600 for the 3 boards.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
no profit, just to get my boards out there,
Yeah.
So it's really hard at the end of the day trying to make it here, selling the boards, shaping them, getting the materials. The resin is like a really bad to get here too, hazardous materials, all that stuff. So it makes it really hard. So the computer thing, at the end of the day, might help the process.
I mean, at
on
least
it,
your hours, right?
for sure.
The
I don't have
hours
to
and
drive
hours
then
of
4
shaping.
hours a day driving just on the car. I spend 4 hours on a car.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Gas.
Shit, let's not even talk about the gas. You know how
Well,
much fuel I could be buying from you without the gas?
You're driving a giant Ford truck.
But
It's
I needed to carry your assets with the boards and the shit. We need that shit, you know. And it's like we need it for the dirt bike, for the surfboard, for the foils.
You know what I want to do is I've thought about it a lot is that I have that Sprinter van. And it's big.
So
I don't utilize it as much as I should or at all.
We should get like a driver, pay him
Right.
$20 and drive us around.
Get like a driver
For
and
sure.
like when finally there's enough crew in Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah.
If I could have a full-time downwind bus that does and you can jump on whenever you want.
Everybody
we
gets
don't
on
even
it.
have to plan logistics.
Yeah.
You just have his number, you know what time, and he knows the time, and he schedules and he does rounds like this.
That's perfect.
Could you
We
imagine how
could
many
do
runs we could
do?
do?
Multiple runs on one
Yes.
day. It's like no problem for sure. The logistics will be really good. So I'm down for that one.
All right, me too.
Need to
I
get
gotta
on it.
Figure that out.
But hopefully we're getting more riders. We got Rafki now doing it.
Yep.
Phil's getting on it.
Yep.
Edgardo, Waffle Dude from the West Coast. I gave him a board the other day. He's like, give me a board, dude. I want to get
Waffle?
on it.
You call him Waffle Dude?
Well, he's a chef. He's like a legit
Yes.
chef, and he had, I don't know his story too good, but he had like a waffle place. He's known as he had like a waffle
But now
place.
he's doing pizzas too.
No, he's like a legit chef, and he
I
does
know,
like
I
a
know he
pizza
is.
stuff, and he does like this amazing.
But that's his nickname, Waffle Dude?
Well, it was his Instagram name. You
Oh,
know,
was it?
everybody calls you by your Instagram name. So that was Waffle Dude, but he had like now it's Edgardo Medina Foiler.
That's
but he knows everybody calls him Waffle Dude. So that's how I know him. Randy Boardmaker, you have it on your phone, so I have Waffle Dude here. So guys like that, which are great foiler. He's a super badass
he's really
surf.
good.
He rips prone foiling, dude.
Yeah,
That guy will break a mast just from carving.
Yeah, he's really
powerful. So he's just, dude, I don't want to get left behind. Do you have a board I can try? I'm like, yep, I got just the board for you, 120 liters. Here it is. Go suffer.
Yeah.
Go paddle. Go put in the time. Don't go surf it. Don't go into the waves. Don't go do a run. Paddle it for a month. When you can paddle this thing straight, you can do like 15 hard paddles and keep it straight, call me and we'll go out there. He's like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
So people are seeing it and they're going to get on it. And our group is going to, of course, not us 3 or 4, you know.
Yeah.
So we have the B team, the A team, so everybody can get on it, you know. I'm the
Yeah.
captain of the B team, just so you know. So I'm the captain of the B team, yeah. So everybody can get on it because we got like you guys that go on really long runs, and then you got me that I go on shorty runs that I just like, you know, I want to do the sport, but I just don't have the physical ability or the resistance or the time for it. Time for it. So
time is tough.
yeah.
also.
So the B team comes into play and foildrive comes into play.
Yeah.
So we're getting
And
more
these-
people into it for
And
sure.
those new R foils, those big ones,
Oh my God.
because you can.
Those are the shit.
I've seen you popping up on those S, which are really good.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that 980S that I like.
Oh, dude,
I
that's
learned how to
quiver
like.
killer.
That's really when I did my first 10-mile downwinder on that
With the
980S, like full dry run, easy pop up surfing. I was like, this is like a 150X.
Exactly.
But way more stable.
We're more self-friendlier.
And- yeah.
Exactly that.
And I was like, this is the foil.
Yeah.
And then
860R
oh
comes
my God,
around.
that
And it's
860
like,
yeah.
what
So
is
now
this?
with that 960, that 960,
I have it in the
think-
car. I'm still trying
I
to
think
try
if
it
you
out.
got to take that on a downwinder
Oh,
because I think you'll get so much more. I see your glide coming to like a stall down.
Yeah.
On these days, dude, you got to take that R thing and
just
let
go.
it and glide it out because it
Yeah.
and it needs a little bit more finesse to it.
Yeah.
But they're still friendly.
They're still friendly. I remember going on the 860R. I actually did a run on the 860R, a short run.
Yeah.
And I had success with it, actually. Incredible. I popped out 3 times and did my full 3 miles in 3 pop-ups, you know, like a 3 1-mile.
Do you have the 1300 too?
I sold it the other day,
Oh.
but I rode the shit out of it.
Oh, you shipped it out.
I
too.
shipped it out to that guy,
Yeah.
I rode it. It served its purpose. It's amazing for the size. I did my first flat water pop-up the other day with Gio on that 1300, which was pretty good.
Wild.
And that 1300, it's amazing. It has its purpose, but
I'm
that
just-
1130.
I'm just wondering for your range. Yeah.
My
of,
range,
like-
I just brought it down to that 1130. Is my everyday thing. I ride that thing up to 8-foot waves.
Yeah.
I'll put it in. It works. I'll wing it. I'll downwind SUP. I'll surf it. But my go-to is the 980. For now, the 980 is my quiver killer. It's the fastest one I'm riding right now, but with the R series,
I think you got that 960.
I got that
think
960.
That's what you have to take.
Now I'm gonna get on it, and like I said, I'm gonna start tweaking it, dial it in, gonna go to El Perro, pop it
Don't
up.
tweak it. It just comes out of the box. Put it on your foil
Exactly.
board.
I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. You just put the stock tail, just put it right here in the
Put the
middle,
one-
and just go.
Medium fuse,
Medium
150
fuse,
AR.
150, go. And that's
Send it.
Pretty much. And I'll try it. I usually just try to stay more with the surfing feeling of the foils. So
Yeah.
I'll tend to like lean to the more surfier.
Yeah, I know.
But downwinding is a different animal. Some on the short runs you could go surf and have fun and do your thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately you're going from point A to point B fast. So
or,
that R
or at
series,
least just on foil.
or just on foil, exactly.
know?
So that R series is opening. I remember the X60R, which is a little bit too small for my abilities.
Yeah.
I could ride it. Once I'm up on foil, I'll ride the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But to get it up and all that stuff is a little bit harder. But the 960R that I bought from you, I have it in the car. I'll get on that ASAP. And the speed, I got on it with the fold drive, actually.
Yeah.
I tested it with the fold drive. And immediately, once it went up, dude, I started eating bumps. I just started eating bumps alone. You just put it there, and that thing just goes.
Yeah.
I haven't tested it completely, but I will, and I will get on the R series for sure for downwinding.
Yeah,
And
the way they surf is completely different, and I know the sensation of like, wanting to surf it around, but even when you are on those bumps, the way that you want to surf is kind of different. It's like
It works even
it's
with the
slalom-y,
Yeah,
you
yeah, it's
know?
slalom-y.
Yeah.
You're just turning and putting the foil and finding those holes and putting it here, there. And the R series allows that for sure. And you can surf it. They turn pretty damn good. That 860, I could carve the shit out of it. It's really good. So once you learn how to carve it and ride it, you can get a lot out of that R series for sure.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm going with it. Just, on the easier foils, the more intermediate foil, but that the R series, that'll be my next level. That'll be my progression.
Yeah.
I know I can ride it, but I'm still riding the 980, doing my runs, struggling here and there, but figuring stuff out, taking my time with it, because it's not that good to go out on a foil that you just can't handle and having a bad day out there. So I'm just progressing into it. I'm just progressing into it, but I'm loving the Code and the R series and the S series. They're surfy and they're fast, and they're just amazing.
How long does it take you to punch out a board? Like if I was going to order a board with you today.
Are you traveling this week or something like that? Because I could make a board in 2 days.
Yeah, okay.
I've shaped boards in 2 days. I actually shaped a board for a trip of ours to Peru in 2 days, a wingboard.
Yeah.
From zero to glass, like 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 days because you gotta wait for the freaking resin to dry up. You just can't do anything about that.
I've seen a video of you with a blow dryer. I'm like,
Oh, dude, I do everything. Yeah, you have shit.
get one of those girls in there with like a fan palmer.
Dry, whatever. I do anything. But usually nowadays I take my time. I go shape it. The next day I come and look at it again, fix it a little bit more. So now I'm more pausing with it, but I can shape a board, like a downwind board, from zero to finish in 3 days to be, So it's good. Like if something new comes out, like this Midland shit now.
Fast and dirty, baby.
Fast and dirty, that's how we do it. My boards. Yeah, sometimes people trip me with my boards because they see my boards, and my boards are all prototypes pretty much. I just glass them ever so slightly.
Yeah.
I just, I don't care about the finish that much because it's my board and I'm just testing the design of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend.
You want it in 3 days. You don't want it in 5.
Exactly, and I don't want to spend $1,200 in carbon, wrapping it in carbon, and maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't work. So I just glass and put the carbon when it's needed, do as most efficient and as cheap as I can, and if it works, then I'll shape like a final product of it, and that will be like the good one. So if you see a board of mine looking all dirty, it's because it's mine. It's because it's finished like that on purpose. It's like on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning on our YouTube channel, we throw up your Instagram handle so people can find you.
Oh, good.
That way, if anybody wants to dig in and
you can see everything there, from the wingboards, all the shaping and the process, which is sometimes what people like write to me about. Wow, that's how you do it. It's amazing, and not too many people get to see the process of it. Of cutting a block of foam and shaping it, and I do the time lapses on it, and it's just so it's kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I always watch those videos
That's
of
really
you
good.
going 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from the next step.
Exactly. You see the process.
Because I know this process, and everyone has their own process, right?
Oh, for sure.
And it develops and it develops.
There's no right way of shaping a surf. I started shaping boards because I saw this video of Ben Ipa, which is like a legend in Hawaii. And Ben Ipa's in the shaping room in this video, and he's like teaching you and showing how it's done and all this thing. And he says, there's no right way of shaping a surfboard. You got your hands, you got your tools, you got the thing in your mind. Just go out. You want to cut the bottom first. You want to do the rails first. There's always like some steps you could follow, but there's no right way of shaping a surfboard. It's what you make of it. So I love the art of it. And I'm pretty much saying that I'm going to stop shaping because, I just shape, the business aspect of it is really bad.
It's not
So I'm actually at the point now where I'm like breaking even, whatever. So this is not my main business, thankfully.
Yeah.
So,
People are like, damn, they're like, poor Randy, man.
Poor Randy, man. He's
Throw
having
this
rough
guy a
time right now.
bone. He's
No, I do a lot
shipping
of
out
stuff.
boards for free.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. And then giving boards to Roy Young to
Yeah.
ride him until he
Yeah.
gets his new board or
Come
whatever.
on, Roy. Come
exactly.
on. We want your money.
Exactly.
He doesn't give me any money either.
He doesn't
I've been
give any
trying,
money.
man, for years.
Roy's a
Like,
hard animal
and then he'll finally buy something, and then he'll give it back.
That's funny. Yeah, Roy's a different
kidding.
person, yeah.
It's coming. His time is coming.
Oh,
and
that's going to be so good.
I'm gonna gouge him.
Yeah, Roy Young. That guy actually has been my foiling partner pretty
Yeah.
much.
I mean, you guys started doing that whole downwind thing, and
For pretty much,
you guys had no boards. You made a couple boards.
I made that
orange
first
thing.
board. That orange thing is still lying around. Actually, I went to buy it the other day. I wanted to buy it because actually that's a good board now. Now I know how to ride. That's a good board right now. Back in the
Who has that?
Alex. Alex, Alexander, the blonde guy that teaches over here, he has a ski.
Okay,
Alex.
okay.
Yeah, so he has it. He might get into it, so he has it. He hasn't got into it, but
Says everybody.
exactly.
You gotta, yeah.
Yeah,
Show me the money.
exactly.
Show me your sweat and tears.
Yeah, but with Roy and all the things we've been through, we've been good partners and we've done a lot of trips. We've gone to Peru 2 times. We destroyed that place, the longest wave in the world.
Yeah.
And we scored it. We went to Hood River with you guys. So
Yeah.
we've been
That was
like
a
putting
badass-
in the
That was a
time.
great trip.
Oh, really good trip. I'm going again, dude.
Yeah,
Well,
I know. I heard you guys on the water
I'm
talking about
going,
it the other
dude.
day.
I'm like down for it. I'm gonna take one board, that new board I'm shaping,
Yeah.
the one I got, the Midland, downwinding it over there, which is a skate park over there.
Yeah.
And then winging it. I could wing that same board, so it's
Dude.
like perfect. I'm on it.
Hood River.
Oh,
It just
paradise.
the
dude.
river.
It's
It
a
just
river.
hands you waves. It's like, would you like to go down that way?
Exactly.
Here you go.
And one after the other.
Yeah. It is
Non-stop.
It is foil
I
magic.
went there without even learning how to downwind SUP, and I made it work pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
I went down the freaking river with you guys, not
Yeah.
as good, but I pretty much made it. So learning over there and
I mean, we
practicing
were
was
all
really good.
beginners,
We
you
were
know.
all beginners, yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
I know. I always have that video of me. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh, that's a good
I
video.
popped up
dude.
the first
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm like, what? Boom! My God! And just did a dry run. First moment you land
Dude.
there. We drove there. We went in. Popped up.
My
Like,
fir-
holy shit!
My
Dry run. And
First
you're like,
run, it wasn't a dry run, but when I popped
Yeah.
that thing up,
we remember we were waiting there. We're like, where's Randy? Where's Randy? Where's
Oh,
Randy?
there
And
you
then
go.
he's like, there's Randy. And Randy's like, fuck yeah. Fuck
super
yeah.
stoked,
Yeah.
dude.
We were all so
Best feeling
stoked.
ever.
We're like,
Best
all
feeling
right,
ever.
one run done. That's enough excitement for today. I'm like, my pants are wet. I am. Let's go.
yeah.
Settle down for a second. I don't know if I can handle
let's just
that
take
much.
this in. Yeah. Yeah. And I had such a bad setup because I didn't have the right gear for it and I didn't know how
Yeah,
to do it.
I mean-
so I had my back leg got destroyed on that first day and
Yeah.
the next day I couldn't even walk. It was
Oh man.
But anyways, those trips have, foiling around the world. That's another aspect of it. You could foil the world. Literally, you could foil anywhere, dude. It doesn't matter. You need a
Yeah.
bump, a bay, a little beach break, whatever. Downwinding nowadays, you could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Point A to point B, just go.
Community too, which is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Everyone's
Yeah.
super friendly and inviting, and
Yep.
you could be like, you could send a text out and be like, hey, I'm coming to California.
Let's go.
And they're like, I don't have a board. Anybody got one for me? They're like, you probably get 10 messages being like,
For
you
sure.
could borrow mine.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, how rad is that?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's just so cool.
The other day, the guy that came over here from the States, what's his name? Fold Me Harder or something? That
Yeah,
did
yeah.
a run with you guys. He didn't
Yeah.
have a board. I lent him one of my boards.
Right.
And he was stoked on it. That was for me like I got a review on it from a legit guy that really goes, and he was pumped on my board. And
foil me harder.
Foil me harder, is it something like that? Yeah, badass. So the community, like you said, it's really good. Like if I have a foil, hey, you need to try this thing. Like you know, try this board. I have so many boards, of course, from the shaping and all the clients and stuff. So I have the thing that I switch boards. So like I said, you can turn in your board, and I'll give you a credit for it. For a new one, so you can keep progressing and not having to pay $2,000 each time. So I'll take that board that I took from you, and give you a little credit.
No wonder you're losing money, bro.
Of course,
come on.
Of course, but I'm trying to get people into it. So that's how I move the boards around, and that's how I moved my fold. That Axis fold, that Arlan rode. Arlan rode that board. That guy rode that same board. That guy rode. Rafki used that board and that fold. This guy used that board and that fold. So I put them out there so that people can get into it without having to go like $5,000 into the first buy, full foil, full board. You know, so that expense is kind of hard to get into something that you don't even know you might be able to do. So I'm trying to like open up the things so that more people can get into it, like putting the gear out there and giving it a good price, or just even lending it. Everybody calls me, oh yeah, you got a board? There you go. Waffle dude, you got a board? Here you go.
Waffle
Try
dude.
it. Waffle dude. Waffle dude good for this one.
That's cool, man.
I call everybody by their Instagram names. I'm really bad with names, so Instagram is like that's your name, dude.
That's your name, dude.
It.
You're Waffle Dude forever now.
Exactly.
That's really cool that when I first got into it, I could see your boards all around, and you still like handing it out, you know, giving your board to this guy, Alex, or whatever.
And helping everybody out to get on
getting everybody into the water and progressing and being progressive with your boards and your shapes and you know.
And testing gear so that, you know, I could be like a resource. Hey, I want to buy this. What do you think about this? Oh, that sucks. You need to get on this. So,
and staying true.
Exactly,
right?
staying true to it. So I'll talk shit about if your shit is good, it's good. And I won't talk shit about it. I'll say it's good. But if it's shit, it's shit. I'm going to say it. It don't matter if I shaped it or somebody shaped it. If it don't work, it don't work. So I'll give it to you straight, pretty much.
Give it to me straight.
Yep.
All right.
That's how it goes.
Cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was fun, right?
Actually,
not too bad?
No, it was pretty good, dude. I feel that we could stay here talking for hours about.
I know.
We skipped like through a million things.
I know,
you know,
but nobody would listen to us.
Oh, of course, and not even me talking here shit. So nobody even knows me. So who's that guy with a beard? Who the fuck is this guy?
I think it's cool because everyone can relate. Everyone's got a story and how they got into it.
Yeah, for sure.
And where they're going with it and what gear they went through or whatever. And everyone, we're all beginners, right? Everyone's just learning and progressing in this sport. So everyone's learned. No one's an expert here, right? You can go and be like, I'm the expert, and be like, you should do this, you should do that. I mean, we're all learning as we go.
Learning every day.
I learn from my clients, you know, I learn from my students, I learn from my community, and every day I learn from somebody, because no one is an expert, right? And you got to stay a little bit humbled to that, especially in this sport that's growing so quickly. So thanks for being part of that, and thanks for coming. It was super fun.
Yeah, everyone wants to get in on it. You know, foiling is really good. It's safe. It's not that bad. You know, there's some risk to it, but everything has risk. Motocross, look at my bones all over. I haven't broken a bone foiling. Or pretty much haven't had like a really bad foiling accident.
Nope.
But surfing, I'll tell you a few stories, or motocross, you know, skateboarding. So foiling is not that bad. Don't be afraid of it. But you got to put in the time. You got to put in the time. It's not something that you're going to just pick up, oh, I surf, I skate. Yeah. You're going to be humble in 2 seconds. Let me show you.
You got to put the time in.
You got to put the time in.
You got to investigate a little bit, which I think that's why people are seeking out, you know, a podcast, let's say, for instance, because everyone's seeking knowledge.
When we started, we didn't know nothing. And a guy told me, I remember a guy telling me, oh, you're going to prone foil? Have you ever skated? I'm like, yeah, I skate. And the guy related to me saying that when you're going to pop up, press on your front foot like you're dropping in on a half pipe. Because I would just keep popping up, you know. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? And the guy told me, like, you're on a skateboard, bro. Like, just step on it. I'm like, I can relate to that.
That's relatable.
So I try to relate to people that come to foiling and try explaining their terms so that they could get in on it and not see that it's such a whatever.
I've been teaching for a long time, and I love teaching. I don't do it as often because it eats up so much of my time, right? And I've got so much more to do.
I'm selective with my teaching.
Yeah, but I can teach, and I love teaching. I'm a great instructor. I say that because I know that I am, and I
know
love
that
it.
for a fact. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you can find that, these little tidbits that you can relate to and like tie in their sports. And
Exactly.
even if they don't do sports, what do they do?
Exactly, so you can
know?
relate and
try to
explain it to
and reel it into something that's relatable
Dude,
that they can like.
What's that? Is that like a plane? Actually, it's
Yeah.
like a wing on a plane, pretty much. You're flying on the water.
Pilots are probably the most relatable.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, the lift and then the yaw. I'm like, yeah, you got some yaw to it. Okay, the roll and the yaw. Yep. So it's all good. We can get techie and explain it to people in different terms. But foiling is good. Get out there. We got the resources now. Back in the day, we didn't have the stores. We didn't have the gear like we have now.
Yeah.
We didn't have the teachers, the instructors. We didn't have the places
knowledge.
to go. So it was rough, like learning. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it's really easy and safe.
Yeah, and get and approach your whoever's local around you and like approach them, and people are willing to give out knowledge. You know?
For sure, and especially
and take
like
it all
us,
with grains of salt because everyone sucks. So no one knows what they're talking about.
It's foiling. I always say it's foiling. No one knows their shit. It's like, you know something today, tomorrow is another thing. Something new
tomorrow
comes
it'll
up.
change, yeah.
Tomorrow it'll change.
This foil's awesome today. Tomorrow, it's
Yeah,
garbage.
tomorrow it sucks.
All right, Randy, we're gonna close it out here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man, for having it. And people, get foiling. It's all good. It's
Yeah.
really good.